Hello, friends. This is Scott. I just want to kind of show you how Mr. Lincoln travels from Salt Lake City down to the Homestead. That's his favorite position, and that's how we travel. So, well, we got down here, and we see a big bank of storm clouds rolling in, and temperatures have been cooler. And I know that winter is coming quick, and we've got some winterization projects that we need to do. And clouds are just a reminder. But today's job is the worm compost bin, the tire worm compost bin. I'm going to get that all fed, get the worms fed and insulated. And so they're ready for winter. And again, the temperatures have been well below freezing at night. And but what am I going to feed these worms with? Well, I'm going to feed them with nature's goodness from the pasture. And poop is good. And that's one thing that you get when you have an agreement with the neighbor to graze your pasture in exchange for irrigation water. I also get this free manure, this free fertility, and it'll turn into the best compost ever once the worms work through it. But right now I'm not putting the kitchen scraps in the worm bin because of the mice situation. So I'm just going to use the manures this year and use that. But problem I got to start out with is I need a little bit of water in this project, and the hoses are froze. And so I decided it was a good excuse to build a fire early in the day that I can enjoy the rest of the day. So I just melted the ice out of the hose without melting the hose and get that water going, because it's very important in the winter for animals. It seems like they drink a lot more water when it's cold. It doesn't seem like they would. You'd think they drink more in the heat, but yeah, they definitely go through a whole container of water in a day and a half down here, at least mine. And then the neighbor obviously has a couple on his side too, so I'm not sure how much they're drinking out of that. They get this good culinary water at my house, so they probably like it better than that irrigation water they're getting from the neighbor. But yeah, you see the ice in the bottom of the trough there, and it's about an inch thick. It's hard to see, but yeah, it's definitely freezing. And the cows are still able to break the ice themselves, but pretty soon it'll get to the point where, I'm going to have to come out and bust this ice up and refill this pretty much every day. And it's hard in the winter because it takes a lot of 5-gallon buckets to fill one of those things up. So yeah, I got to keep these hoses, try to keep them free of ice, and I'll be building lots of fires, it looks like. But it seems a little counterintuitive to put water in a bin with worms in it, right as winter is getting cold. But worms need water. They have to have moisture. And I'm not going to make this soppy. I'm not going to leave a puddle in here, but I need to wet the material to start this process before I go out and start collecting nature's goodness. And again, those are what I've been waiting to harvest, and it's one of the most important harvests of the year because this adds a lot of fertility. Now, it is kind of a little bit of a job to scoop poop, and some of it's a little fresher, and it's not quite frozen to the ground, but there's some others, patties, that are just frozen. So I'm just going to go around and try to get as much of this manure as I can, and I'm not going to try to get it all. I just want to, again, break up these patties and load that wheelbarrow up, and there's the cows coming to visit. And these cows are friendly. You always got to be leery around big animals, because they could definitely hurt you. But these cows have never shown any signs of aggression towards me. I've had other cows in the past in this pasture that have been a little bit aggressive toward Mr. Lincoln, but these cows have been, they're more afraid of me than anything. But they're getting, we've got used to each other and we can coexist. There's the bottom of the bin. When last time I showed you when I found the salamanders and I moved the tires. And I put a little bit of organic matter, but that's not enough material to keep those worms alive and the salamanders alive during the winter. And fed. So I'm going to feed them all this great poop. Now, I can honestly say it's easier to scoop frozen poop into the wheelbarrow than it is to scoop it out of the wheelbarrow. But yeah, it's not that huge of a project, so we persevered and got her done. But this is what the worms need to eat. Now, redworms, or tiger worms, whatever you want to call them, they are a manure and a leaf litter worm. They'll eat any organic matter, but they don't really live in the soil. They process organic matter, and this is the perfect material for them to eat. So this will be a favorite treat for them. Again, I'm trying not to put kitchen scraps in here just because of the mice, but since I moved the tires, the mice have to travel. And with all my cat horde that I haven't seen a mouse since I moved the tires, so they're here, I'm sure. But the cats have a way to get them now when they have to travel from place to place, and they don't have the safety of that concrete wall. So there's the first scoop for the first wheelbarrow full of manure, and I'm going to go get the second one. I want to show you I'm not getting all of it. I'm just getting, if it's light layers, I'm leaving it, and I just want to get these patties off the pasture because it isn't good for the pasture also to be for the pasture grass to be smothered. So again, I'm breaking scooping the majority of the patties off, leaving a little bit there. And in the spring, it's funny, you'll really see where the grass is growing greener and and taller. And you'll know where the cows were the year before, and, using the restroom. So, yeah, there's lots of patties here, but I was able to get most of them. And, it seems like every year I get about 2 wheelbarrows full of manure. That's about the extent of it from 2 cows and a horse. And same this year, I got two wheelbarrows. But yeah, it's they did their job. They kept the pasture grass short, and they provided me some fertility. Which here's the second wheelbarrow. It's got to get through the gate. I always got to shut the gate so the cows don't sneak into my yard and make a mess on the other side. They've only broke through a couple times this year. So again, it's easier to scoop into the wheelbarrow than it is out, but got to get that second wheelbarrow full, load it up in there. And I'm going to pack it down a little bit and break it up so it fills some air pockets. But yeah, this is the best stuff ever. When I screen it next year, it'll be great fertilizer for wherever I need to use it. And I'm probably going to continue to use it on the asparagus bed that I put in next year. So there's a look at 2 wheelbarrows full. And so I still have a little bit of room on top, which is very important for the next phase. But like everything, though, worms need moisture. And again, it seems a little bit counterproductive or counterintuitive to put water in there, but dry material isn't going to help them, and especially in their food source right now. So I'm going to wet this manure. And, I'm just like a chef, creating the right consistency with this poop. And I'll show you what my preferred consistency is. You don't want the diarrhea consistency, but you do want to have a, kind of a good patty, kind of a good smushy patty there. So there, I thought you'd want to get a look at that. So that's about how I want it to be. And all that material all the way down to the bottom is moist. But now it's time that I use the other ingredients to make sure that these worms are insulated and they don't freeze. Now, the black tires are going to help with solar energy, and they're going to stay a little bit warmer. But the leaves are the critical point to this. You got to pile a bunch of layers of leaves on top, and I am not going to wet these leaves. So, wet leaves will just pack down and not create the insulation layer. Dry leaves will be just what I want to use here. So I think as much as 1 bag went, I think I have 3 bags there. I think I'm only going to use 2, so I have 1 extra for the garden. But yeah, 2 bags of leaves, all nice and dry. And that'll insulate them nicely. And with all that moisture down below, they should be cozy, and they should be nice and moist and well-fed. And they should, in the spring or midsummer, when I take a look at this bin again, should have some good compost in there. Now, I am going to keep the cows out of here because they're going to come over here and try to eat out of this. So, the fence is a little tall there, and there's a post in a good spot, so they can't quite reach over. But have those boards there for a reason, and that's to cover that bin so it keeps any excess moisture out of there, hopefully keeps some of the animals out of it, and just kind of keeps the cows from eating out of it too. So, well, the bonus of doing this project is I started a fire early in the day, which I was able to keep all day long and enjoyed it into the evening. So, well, that's all it takes to winterize worms. And I appreciate you watching this video. If you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comment. And always remember, poop is good. Thank you.